Hi, I'm Jenny Barnett Rohrs, your host, and today's show is Blooming with Creativity. Our projects all contain flowers. Today we'll make our art bloom with paints to create this cool banner. You're going to need just a few things to get started, including some paper, a hole punch, small styrofoam balls, and these are 1.5 inch size, some glue dots, something to cut your styrofoam with, popsicle sticks, a compass or small plate as a template, some ribbon, acrylic paints, and some white glue. You also may want an extra plate or newspaper to cover up your work surface. So we're going to start by making our own pouncers, which is kind of great to have because you never know when you might need a tool to paint with. So we're going to take one of these small styrofoam balls and we're just going to cut it right in half using this little serrated blade. And then what you can do is just roll it back and forth to make a nice even surface. Now, if you're doing this with a large group of kids, you may want to prep this ahead of time, otherwise I'm going to take you straight through it. Now, we're going to make the pouncer by inserting a popsicle stick into the top of one of the halves of styrofoam, like this. And what we're going to need are 3 of these pouncers for 3 different colors, and we're going to save these other halves, 3 halves, to be the centers. So we're going to set this aside and just let it dry for a little bit. Now we're going to actually make a little template on our paper so that all of our flowers are the same size. And I'm using a compass, and this is set to about a 4.5 inch diameter, but you could also use a paper plate or a bowl, something that you find around the house. And I'm just going to go ahead and create my circle shape like that. Now for this project, you're going to need 3 of them. And I'm going to take my little pouncer like this, and I'm going to put my paint, one of each color, on a separate plate. So I'll load up the pouncer with the red paint and then just put it on the paper, and I like to give it a little twist to make a nice circle. Now what I'm going to do is go all the way around the outside of my pencil line circle to create the outside row for my flower. And I'm going to continue to go around until I've made the whole thing. Then I'm going to set it aside and let it dry, and I'm actually going to repeat the process with some yellow paint like this. And again, just if you put it down and just give it a little spin, you'll get a really nice circle and nice even coverage, like so. Now, after you've gone through and you've done all 3 colors, red and yellow and blue, we're going to go ahead and do the inside, and this is where that color mixing idea comes. So we're going to go back to our red. Here's my blue circle, and I'm going to go ahead and take my red paint, and now I'm going to make a row of circles on the inside like so. Because then our next step is to mix our blue and our red to create the center of the flower, which is purple. So let me just finish this up. And what I'll do is get a little bit of paint, and I can actually mix it together. Let me get my popsicle stick here, and then let me mix up some purple right here. So I'm going to take the blue, and I'm going to take the red, and I'm going to mix it up. Now it's interesting because sometimes when you actually mix blue and red for yourself, it turns a little dark or a little dark purple or a little kind of gray, and that's okay too. That's just one of the things you need to kind of explain as you mix. There we go. Ooh, I like this color. Ooh, it's a nice dark plum. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is go back and take one of those half of styrofoam balls that I had earlier, and I'm going to go ahead and paint it. So here we go, and I'm just going to paint that purple on and then set it aside and let it dry. Now you're going to repeat this process, mixing your yellow and your blue to make green, and your red and your yellow to make orange, so that you have 3 centers for all of your flowers. And again, you're going to paint that completely and then set it aside and let it dry. It may be helpful if you put a drop of the darker color into the lighter color and you get a truer color that way. But do whichever way you like as well. So now when I'm all done, I've got my red circle, I've got my yellow circle, and now I'm gonna add my orange center. And this is where the glue dots come in, because I'm just gonna take a little bit of glue dot, peel off the backing, maybe, there we go, and pop it right in the middle. And I can go ahead and add my purple and my green as well. We're almost ready to put it all together. So this is kind of like the fun end little bit. So once I get all of the centers on, you're going to use the hole punch and put punches in the top corners, and you are almost ready to string. So I've already put holes in these. This is the last one. 1, 2, and now I can thread my ribbon in and get ready to hang up my painted garden.